Nomadikh.
What's going on, guys? My name is Nomadikh, and today we are here for the long-awaited MPC Renaissance video series. So if you haven't seen any of my videos before, the way it works is I have a bunch of episodes, and if you watch all of them straight through, you're going to learn how I made the beat that's playing in the introduction. And if you follow all the videos straight through, you should be able to make the same beat yourself. So just a couple of words about the series. The software with the MPC Renaissance, since it was created, it's been kind of buggy initially, but at this stage in the game, I would say it's pretty stable right now. And I decided to release this series on the version 1.9.6, which is what I'm using right now. And it's really stable. It has a lot of good features. And I'd say this is the final version of version 1 of the MPC. And whether you're using the Renaissance or the Studio, you should still be able to follow along with these videos. I know they're coming out with MPC Software 2.0 in the near future. You might actually have it right now by the time you're watching this video. And I don't really know what that's going to be like, but I can assure you it's probably going to be not that much different than what's going on in these videos right now. And now the last thing, this video series is meant to be very brief. I purposely don't talk about a lot of things just because, the purpose of these videos is to just, get you learning how to use your MPC. And as a result of that, I am planning on releasing an extended MPC School video series in the near future. So without further ado, let's get into the hardware of the MPC Renaissance.
All right, this is the MPC Renaissance. As you can see, it has a very similar MPC 3000 kind of look to it. It's got some nice weight. Definitely does not feel like a controller. There's 16 pads right here. Pads are very comfortable. They feel very, very nice. Remind me of the 2000 XL pads, but they're a little bit softer. You have your Q links over here. You have 16. Each Q link corresponds to one of the 16 sections on the screen. Usually when you go into different modes, the screen gets cut into 16 sections, and each Q link corresponds to one of those sections. And it does other things too. You got your pad banks up here, your vintage mode, so you can emulate, kind of like older MPC sort of sounds. You have your full level, 16 level step sequencer, next sequence, track mutes. You have your function buttons up here, window, program edit. These are your program and sequence buttons. You have your data select. We're going to talk about all these in a bit. You have your wheel right here, which is actually really nice. It's very comfortable to use. The quality feels very, very good. It doesn't feel like it's going to break anytime soon. I've been using this for a couple of years now. You got your cursor, you got your number pad down here. You have your transport controls. And with the MPC Renaissance, you get this tilt screen, which is really nice. The Studio doesn't have the Q links. The Studio also doesn't have this number pad. And the last thing, the biggest thing about the MPC Renaissance is this section up here. And these buttons correspond to the sound card parameter that the MPC Renaissance also has tucked inside, which is in the back right here. If you take a look, the inputs and outputs right here is specific to the MPC Renaissance. So in a nutshell, if you don't feel like you need any of these things back here, any of these inputs and outputs, if you have your own sound card, you can record all your stuff on your own. You probably don't need the MPC Renaissance for that purpose, but personally I do like the MPC Renaissance just for the feel, the size of everything. It's very comfortable. There's also a really nice wrist strap down here, very, very comfortable to use. Like I said, I've been using this for over a year, and I've really grown a liking to it a lot because it's very comfortable, and it doesn't feel like a controller to me at all. But on the front, you have 2 foot switches right here. You also have a pair of headphone jacks or headphone inputs, which is really useful if you're using different headphones. You have your volume knob, and right here, this is sort of like a monitor switch where you can hear the main output, or you can hear whatever you've assigned your monitor to be, which is up here. And the monitor up here, basically this controls your record gain. This one right here is the monitor, so you can hear your input that you're running into the MPC, or all the way over here you can hear the computer audio. And again, we're going to talk about this again in the future videos. This is your main volume right here, and this switch corresponds to what input you have your input selected in on the back, and this is just a meter. So in the back right here we have the power switch over here. You have your AC input, or whatever it is. You have your computer connection right here. This is the cord that connects to your computer. Right over here you have a USB hub, and this is actually really useful because you can hook up a hard drive or your cell phone or whatever you want to connect. Right here you have a SPDIF input and a SPDIF output, which is pretty useful too, nice to have. Over here you have your Midi Ins and Outs. It looks like you have 4 Midi outs and you have 2 Midi ins. I don't really use these a whole lot, but if you have a synthesizer or you have a MIDI keyboard or any sort of MIDI device, it's nice to be able to use it just like a hardware MPC. Over here you have 2 assignable mix outs, and honestly I don't really think you need too much of these, just because when you're making music it's already digital and it's in the computer, so I don't think there is much of a need for it. And right here you have a pair of stereo outs, which is also really nice. If you set your software inside the computer, which we'll talk about in the next video, if you set it to be your MPC Renaissance sound card, these work, which is really cool. And right over here you have your input section. You have a combination jack over here. You have 2. You can hook up a mic if you want, phantom power, and you can also hook up a pair of 1/4" cables. And right over here, this is a ground for a turntable for using that, and you have an RCA input right here.
All right, I hope that was clear. In the next episode, we're going to be talking about the software, the MPC software, and specifically how you can set it up to make it work with your MPC in your setup. So stay tuned.